You'll notice behind me all my lovely offline footage. Just trying to make it look cool. Too lazy to plug in the hard drive. How's it going, guys? My name is Ryan Luth. I'm a filmmaker based out of Southern California, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're gonna be doing a product review and B-roll shoot on a electric skateboard. This thing is the coolest thing on the planet. So sometime in the last month, a company named Basecamp reached out to me. They sent me an email asking if they could send me one of their electric skateboards to make a product review video on it. So obviously I said, absolutely, that sounds amazing and super fun. So just the other day in the mail, this beautiful thing arrived, and we've been testing it out and seeing how well it works, and it is great. It is so much fun, and I've been having a blast. Comes with a little remote, and it's pretty easy. Just turn it on, hold that down on the skateboard, hold this down, there you go. And then, as you'll see, you just push forward on this accelerating, and then pull it back to stop it. So yeah, it's pretty sick. So when I got the product, at first, it didn't actually turn on right away, and I was a little confused, but the Basecamp team was super helpful and gave me an entire instruction manual and made a video and everything on how to pair the remote with the boards. Honestly, it was so easy. All right, so you got your board. You gotta turn your board on. So step one is power on the board. And then press and hold the on and off button of your board for about 5 to 10 seconds until the on and off button starts blinking. And then that puts it in pairing mode. Then take your remote and then power on your remote. And then you're gonna need a paper clip or something skinny or something like that. Press the pairing button on the remote. It's a little hole near the back. Don't press it for a long time, just one little hard press. When paired, both the board and the on and off switch remote signal indicator will begin to blink in unison. And then that's it. Just power on and take her for a spin. All right, guys, heading out to go shoot some product shots of the skateboard and to test it out and to see how it goes. Camera. So we're out here testing out the skateboard. Nina's giving it a go. So far it's working super well.
It's so fun, guys. Now I want one too.
Test with the braking and the acceleration, and so far it works pretty good. When you're going downhill, obviously, you get some pretty good speed, and the braking's not like sudden. So there's a bunch of different modes you can do. We're doing like the most advanced mode right now. So you can do like different braking methods, and it's slower if you're going downhill, but it is enough to slow you down and come to a full stop. So when you're accelerating, going uphill, it's a little less, but if you're just on flat, it gets going pretty well. So it only goes 10 miles an hour, but when you're going on the board itself and it starts picking up speed, it almost like feels like it compounds on itself, and then it feels like you're going 30 miles an hour. So it's super fun. Yeah, it feels like you're snowboarding, which is super cool.
Like listening to music, I think would be so cool, and just like, you know, going.
Yeah. So the product is super sick. It comes with this awesome like carrying backpack that you just like can strap your skateboard right into, and then put it on your backpack, walk around with it, catch the bus if you want to. I don't know, go for a walk until you find a good spot to skateboard, pull it out, have at her, and just go for a ride. It's less of a leisure product and more of an actual mode of transportation. So we had a lot of fun just testing that out and seeing how it worked getting around here. I will say San Clemente's got a lot of hills, so it was a little tricky getting up some of the hills, but it did do it. It did make it, and I was able to get around. But when we got to the flat surfaces, that's where it really shined, and we could just get this thing going. So yeah, top speed that it can go at is, it says on the box 10 miles an hour, but again, definitely did not feel like 10 miles an hour on some of those flat surfaces. Definitely felt a lot faster, which was really cool. I could see it keep its 10 mile an hour speed on some of the hills and stuff like that. And then obviously if you're going downhill, it picks up pretty quick. Braking was okay. what I found is it depends on how fast you're going. I mean, it's just physics, right? So when you're pulling back on the brake, if say you're going downhill, it's not gonna bring you to a complete stop. It will slow the board down a little bit, but you won't be able to come to a full stop just because you have that momentum already going, you're going downhill. When I was going on a flat surface, say I'm going all the way from 10 miles an hour at my full speed, and then I'm bringing it down, gently braking. Or if I just slam on the brakes, it'll take like 3 to 5 seconds before I can get fully stopped. So you gotta kind of feel it out and kind of think about that when you're going. So if you're like coming right up to something, don't expect it to just slam on the brakes. I mean, you wouldn't want it to anyway, because if you did, it'd throw you right off the board. So I think it actually is a great design that it's not just a complete stop right away. I think you would send yourself flying off the board if it did. The overall ride feel was like super good. Like I snowboard and it literally felt like I was snowboarding. It's like the coolest thing ever because you don't have to like push at all. You can just get yourself going, you're just gliding around and it feels like you're snowboarding on concrete. So the overall ride feel was really good. It's not bumpy. I mean, hitting bumps, it's gonna feel bumpy, but on just normal asphalt or cement, concrete, that kind of stuff, it's pretty smooth. I was pretty impressed. The overall build quality seems pretty good. Obviously it's a wooden deck, which is nice. Pretty solid, feels like an actual skateboard. From someone who actually does skateboard, it felt like a legit, just a cruiser, which is super cool. It didn't feel like this weird plastic thing that you're riding on. So I liked that. The grip tape, great. I love the fun design on here. They got their logo on the back. I thought this was a giant V-mount battery at first. And I got really excited because I was like, oh, I wonder if there's a V-lock on it and I could put a V-mount on it. It's not. But anyway, battery lasts really long. I was pretty impressed with it. The trucks are plastic, but I mean, they're like a plastic metal kind of vibe. Maybe they are metal. They feel like both, but they work really well. I was able to carve really easily on this. It was super fun. Build feels really good. It only actually has a motor on just one wheel, but it seems to be plenty. It's just this wheel that spins, and then it'll get you going pretty fast. So since I'm a filmmaker, the company wanted me to test it out to try and get some smooth shots on it to kind of show how smooth the board actually rides by testing out, filming with my camera from the board. We're gonna test it out. Lena's gonna do some jogging for me, and I'm gonna act as if I'm like super steady mode, getting some cool tracking shots of her while riding the skateboard, while holding my camera and the remote. We'll see how this goes. So I'm pulling focus on one hand.
But I'm running.
I'm pulling focus on one hand and operating the remote on the other. And so far, it actually doesn't work too bad. I have to like think of two things at the same time. Well, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with the shots. They were incredibly smooth. The ones that we just shot at 24 frames per second, there's no stabilization, no nothing on there. Completely raw out of the camera, no image stabilization or anything even within the camera, and it did really well. So super fun, super smooth board to ride. Had a lot of fun with it. So my overall conclusion to the product, I would say it's a super fun board. It's priced pretty decently. All right, so you can buy this thing on Amazon for $260, $259.99. That is a very cheap price for a electric skateboard. I know the boosted boards I think go for like $2,000 or something like that, or $1,000. There's some other ones that are around the same price, but I have to be honest, I don't really like the way that they've designed them as much as this one. Basecamp, you guys did a great job. I love the design personally. I think it rides great. I had a lot of fun with it, and I would 100% use it as a mode of transportation around where I live. There's a coffee shop just down the street, and I've already been using it to go back and forth to get my coffee in the morning. So props to you guys, you've created a fantastic product. My overall thoughts on using it around here, I don't know if I'd be able to ride it all the way into town where I live, because it's just a very hilly city that I live in. Probably take me a little bit to get into town, so if it was able to handle more of an incline and maybe go a little bit faster, I think I could probably do it. So if you guys ever add any additions to the product, that would be my suggestion. But it's obviously not necessary. Like if you live somewhere that's flat, you are totally fine with this thing. This will get you around anywhere, and it's like super fun. So again, just wanted to say a huge thank you to Basecamp for sending me this product and letting me test it out and ride it around with some of my friends and my wife. And we just had a fantastic time with it. You guys have created an awesome product, and I wish you all the best success as you continue selling this. I would highly recommend it to anyone out there looking to buy a electric skateboard for a reasonable price to ride around town, get around their neighborhood. I think the backpack idea is a great idea, because then you can take it on the bus, like if you live in the city or something. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell so you don't miss another video. I know this one was a little bit different than some of the other ones I've put out, but we'll be doing more filmmaking ones soon, and I'm glad I was able to tie a little bit of filmmaking into this one too. We also shot a spec commercial for this little product, so keep an eye out because that's going to be released soon too. It's going to be a super sick commercial we did. So yeah, thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. You can also put this thing in reverse by holding the reverse button down for a few seconds, and then same acceleration. Whoa. So riding switch now, and then using the brakes.